Okay, so what's going
So,
on? Um,
I
I
saw at least
I can,
one story.
yeah. I mean, I'll tell you what. Like, how about I know you just said you wanted a wallet, but how about some fish? How about
I haven't had fish in a bit. I could go for a fish.
go for fish? Banana
Yeah.
fish?
Oh, what?
Does banana fish sound good?
It actually sounds like shit.
What if I told you it was AI generated?
I'd be wildly unshocked.
Banana Fish is an anime, and they over at Amazon Prime they have decided to release a AI English dub. Um, and
It
surprise, surprise, it is unwatchably terrible. And everyone has hilariously managed to upload all of their reaction content before it was taken down. Good job to all
so
those people.
I was under the impression that people came out and were saying, "Hey, this is literally the decision of like one or two people that are above everyone's pay grade. Everyone hates it. Please get mad
Mm-hmm.
and shame them." And then that post went out yesterday,
Mm-hmm.
and today they
And
fucking
they took it down.
took them down.
So this
And
happened at the
it
same.
happened too fast for
It
this podcast.
Yeah, the whole thing. But it wasn't just Banana Fish. It happened with No Game No Life as well. And what was the third one? There was three shows. Oh, Vinland Saga, right? And the
Which
Vinland
doesn't that
Saga.
already have dubs?
That's what's fucking crazy. Is the Vinland Saga has two dubs that are good that were done. One by Netflix, one by Sentai, and they ignored that and made their own because it's cheaper, I'm sure, and you can just try to run this and see if it fucking flies. And thankfully, not well enough, people were upset enough, and people were canceling their Prime subscriptions and making it very much a stink about it. And they went burp, 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 and pulled back on
Think of how
the
much
dubs.
money we can save with AI when people
Yeah,
don't want to watch our stuff anymore.
the Spanish dub for Banana Fish is apparently still up. But here's the thing, right? And this is important because guess what? From now on, every fucking news segment that we talk about is going to be dedicated
Yeah, we
partially
did the
to this
layoff
exhausting thing, right? It's just going to keep
right? And
happening,
now we're
right?
doing the AI thing and the layoff thing.
Yeah. So it's just this is it forever, right? Okay. I've
Well,
talked.
at least for 18 more months anyway.
I have. Well, yeah. I mean, you'd be surprised how far the needle can go into this bubble sometimes, you know. But here's what I'm saying. I've talked in the past before about how when it comes to like visuals and seeing like a art, for example, that gets stolen and shit like that, and even people, you're seeing like the weird finger count that used to be an issue that
Yeah,
gets
yeah, yeah.
improved over time, and all these things where all the flaws, they look stupid and shitty and hilarious for now, but I'm like, keep in mind that's not always going to be the case, right? I've said this,
Yeah,
a couple
it'll
times,
improve.
right? So here we have the situation where they're now basically being like, "Fuck the actors entirely. We're just going to AI the entire show and
Yeah.
have that in multiple languages. Fuck you. This is what we're doing." Rolling it out and seeing how it's going to go. It goes horribly. It's also hilarious because when you go watch the clips, there is like it's as shitty as you would expect, with no enunciation or understanding of any of the context for why this character should sound a certain way emotionally and so on. I think when it comes to this stuff and when we're talking about it, it's very important to when people are like explaining that this is bullshit, we don't support this and fuck that, it's important to make sure that you're doing this divorced from the quality of the actual output, because
Yeah.
it's hilarious that Banana Fish is sounds terrible, but
But
it's
if it sounded good, that wouldn't be any better.
exactly. And I don't want people to then be like, "Oh shit, it actually sounds great or amazing," because that could eventually happen, because it's always possible, because it's taking from real people. So it can always copy people and eventually land it and do a really good job and be like, "Wow, holy shit, this sounds like an amazing job of voice acting digitally." That's always within grasp. And just like with art, what I was saying before is just like, don't get it twisted and be like, well, okay, the problem is look how shitty it sounds, therefore, haha, fuck this thing. You know, it's important to be like, no. Regardless of the quality that's output, the problem is the usage of it and not actually obviously hiring the actors and so on. And I think that when it comes to a broad conversation, that, you know, stories like this tend to break out a little bit further, because it's not just like it's not arc raiders, for example, a specific instance in a specific game. You know, things like this are going to travel faster and wider, and there are people that are only thinking about the quality of how shitty the dub was and not necessarily it being a problem if the dub were perfectly done. So keep that in mind, I'd say.
So there's a lot of little pieces here to kind of pick at. One of which is like, let's just start this by, I'm of the belief that at least 20% of people resent having to think at all. Like resent. Yeah, no, they resent having to use their brain. And you've run into these people. They're everyone that you can think of when I say that.
It's called Gen Z. Oh,
and they're no, it's like and there's nothing you can do about those people.
Teachers on the front lines are talking about how cooked shit is, and they're kind of warning that things are going to be rough. But it's across the board. It's in all directions. It's
that's not Gen Z anymore. That's Gen Alpha. But regardless,
no. And X is cooked, and Boomers are cooked, and we're cooked, and it's just
millennials are the only ones who aren't cooked, but we got fucked over. So hey, isn't that funny?
No, we're worse. We're dumb.
Yeah. Anyway, point being, well, because millennials are the ones who gave Gen Z all their iPads. So even if we're not cooked, like, it's still that one's our fault for sure.
But it was all
not my fault personally. But
yeah,
you know what I mean.
but like going into the tech market and inventing these iPads were the only opportunities we had, because the entire market for getting a normal house and family and shit were destroyed by the X's and Boomers above us.
Anyway,
inherit the bullshit, pass it on.
Anyway, point being, about 20%, 25, 30%, whatever, people are just like fucking morons and resent being able to having to read, you know? So like these people will never be reached. And so there's no point in even discussing with them. And like, those are the exact types of people who would be absolutely fucking bamboozled by like, oh, the AI sounds good. Cool. Why would we ever need anything else? It's like, well, do you want to live in a fucking world in which no artistic pursuit can make any money, and there's no longer any art at all other than slop or from the rich who have the free time, whatever.
The human being has been removed, and the concept of
right. So like, one of the things that really jumps out at me though about the actual quality of the Banana Fish dub is that this shit didn't even pass like a glance test. Right? Like the quality doesn't matter. But it's like crazy that anyone saw it and signed off on it, because like, so one of the things about human beings is that you tend to think of your sight as your primary sense, right? Because it's so fucking useful all the time, right? Your hearing is more sensitive than your eyes, like as a matter of like degree, right? You are going to be just as, if not more, able to pick out weird, uncanny nonsense with your ears than you will with your eyes. And this shit is miles away from even approaching anything that a human being would sound
competent
like.
At all.
This is actually worse than like Chinese TikTok movie synopsis AI voice.
Right.
It's way worse.
And it reminds me of like days where like a game comes out and it's an absolute dumpster fire. So early Cyberpunk, for example, where all you're seeing is clips of bugs and dumb bullshit, right? But in those instances, like, there's a chance that people are running into these bugs or just having a normal experience. Not every cop car is flying through the world and exploding, but the funny moments where people are running into these bugs and crashing, they're clipping and throwing online. But it's in this instance, everyone is hearing it. Everyone is running into this.
It
is a universally poor experience, and thus you have to imagine that, oh, it had to be someone shitty making a decision and pushing it through. Yeah, often one person who potentially is at, again, sitting in the CEO cuck chair. Who knows, But yeah, there's no possible way that you watch this and like you're seeing these clips and you're like, oh, maybe they're like grabbing the out of context. Maybe they're cherry picking, and it's like across the board garbage.
Yeah,
unlistenable trash.
Like even it's one of those things that I always get caught up on when you see somebody do an evil thing or stupid thing. And like all I can think of is I don't even like interact with it morally of like, ooh, bad person, scold, right? My first thought is always like, what are they, fucking stupid?
Yeah, like
They
what?
thought they wouldn't get caught?
What was your
They
course of
thought
action?
that no one would notice?
Play it forward. What was going to happen next? You know.
And the answer to that is yes, they're fucking stupid. No, they didn't think they were going to get caught. They didn't think anything was going to happen. Like that is actually the answer every time. So, but beyond that, I am genuinely, this might be naive of me. This might be optimistic of me, but I am actually of the opinion that the average thinking human being that actually can enjoy anything on a real level to any degree, and that it goes all the way down to like children, right? Can understand and internalize like human like creativity on like a larger level as opposed to slop. And the image that I have in my mind right now is this banana fish shit is dog water. It's garbage, right? The robot that reads off and steals Reddit posts to put over Subway Surfers on TikTok sounds terrible, right? And so does all the dialogue from multiple Resident Evil games. But no, don't open that door is so bad in such a human-centric, idiosyncratic, fucking weird way that you didn't go, wow, that's terrible. What the fuck? You also said, why'd they say it like that?
Yes.
Why'd they make it like this? And it's got charm to it that the slopped out shit ass robot doesn't have because it's not real.
Of course. Like the room, and I did not, is hilarious because a person,
that shit all the time.
An individual made that decision and is and it's specifically the product of one person's decision making that you're looking at there. I think that much is clear. In this case too, you're looking at an extra shitty situation because these are 3 shows that are made by teams of artists that are now having this bullshit attached to it in other languages. And it must be as well because it's like, you know, we make our own dubs because it's probably way cheaper to just license the raw and do it ourselves than it is to go get the performances and so on that were done elsewhere. But yeah, now you're tainting someone else's work with this shit too. And I guess the big question is, you know, because again, this is a Prime rolling it out at 3 things at once and just fuck it, we don't care. We're gonna move forward no matter how upsetting it is until people are loud enough. Is there like the trade-off on their side internally is, are the people that are excited and investing getting pumped up enough about you saying this quarter we rolled out 3 new shows and it cost nothing to make because they were entirely AI, right? And just using that as a bottom line on your quarterly report to get some more investors pumped up and get them rock hard, porking up.
We have a different story that actually relates back to this, but like,
is that cash gain worth it? Is the trade-off worth it there?
Yeah, it's like selling the product is now secondary to tricking investors.
That's it.
Right up until the investors realize they're never going to get returns because you don't sell a product anymore, and they all bail on you.
But a number of them, especially the ones that are like riding the cusp, are looking for anything that says the word AI the most times.
Yeah.
To be like, the more you say it, the more I throw money at you. So keep saying it. And you have to wonder, like, yeah, these are the decisions in the moments where they get to say, hey, look, we rolled out 3 shows. It doesn't matter what happened afterwards. It doesn't matter where that went. It doesn't matter what the quality was. It's a bullet point we can bring up.
So like, do you have the EA story on here this week?
No, but I was going to swerve us right over to Let It Die.
Okay. So I'm going to make a quick point about EA and
Sure.
then we can swerve back over. So EA, their buyout from the Saudis got finalized like this morning or yesterday, who now own 93.5%
Woo.
of EA. But part of the reason EA got bought for so much cash is because part of their pitch to the Saudis was our operating costs are going to go down to like 0 because AI is going to let us fire everybody. And that's not going to happen.
30 billion of the 55 billion will just be is debt that we're not going to have to worry about because look how cheap these games are going to get to make.
Yeah, that's just not going to happen. So EA is on a fucking death clock right now.
I'm gonna go ahead and say that according to like all the shit that the PIF, like everything from the Saudi investment fund, like of all the shit that is going to be on the chopping block very shortly, video games are going to get it the worst and hardest because
you know what we're looking at? We're looking at Embracer Group again.
Of course, yes, at a larger scale.
Same exact thing.
But imagine this now. Embracer Group. Well, this is the difference here is that they're looking at the shit they're holding as shit's on fire, and they're like, well, we're not giving up sports because we bought sports.
Yeah, we bought sports.
And we're not giving up wrestling because we bought wrestling. And here's golf, and here's a bunch of other shit. What the fuck are these video games? Fuck that shit. Get that out of here, right? Like, that's the afterthought.
Terry Bogard, just go die.
Like, it's over, right? So that's going to hit the chopping block first and foremost and hardest. Yeah. So from this, you know, but always, as always, you just get this. The race to the bottom is there's still people that are excited by the word, the investors, they don't know what's going on, and if we can keep them tricked long enough. So you got to come out loud and proud and say it with your chest. Let It Die. The fucking new one. It's crazy because I'm like this. What an aptly named video game. Let It Die Inferno. Has proudly come out to announce that it's a ton of AI generated content has been used in game. Not just for voices, but for music and for graphics, background textures, illustrations, infocast, everything. All assets you're looking at are massively relying on AI-generated content. That's why this game is coming back to begin with. That's why you're even hearing about it again.
I was shocked when I saw... yeah, isn't that funny? Isn't that funny? I was shocked when I saw that Steam page go up, and the sequel to the game, who had like 100 indie bands make a song called "Let It Die," and that was like the whole soundtrack. Went and said, you know what? We're gonna use it on a couple things, like the art and the music and the voices. like
again,
the whole
yeah.
thing?
Well, this is how we ship the game for $18, right? This is how we do it.
The most AI game of any note so far.
Everybody, like, there's a secret second podcast that goes on during the podcast, and that's and that's just for you and me over here.
But that was really fun to deal with, let me tell you.
That's good stuff. Yeah. The approaches are getting wildly bold. I think that you get to look at these stories and go, like, you know, the fact that they're coming out and proudly talking about how few human beings.
I have to tell you, I actually, no joke, no sarcasm, I actually genuinely appreciate it. This is exactly how it is supposed to be. They feel very strongly about the use of AI in their game, and they feel so strongly and proud to say it that they are putting that disclosure on their webpage so that I know to ignore that shit forever.
There you go.
Unlike something like Where the Winds Meet, which got away with not putting the generative AI disclosure on its page, despite the fact that every NPC is being run through ChatGPT.
Or Level 5, which is now after they've put out articles and they're showing out how, you know, with Captain Tsubasa and with Megaton Musashi and a bunch of their games, they're like, we're using it for the concepting phase, and then we are getting the artist to go and draw for real over the generated image. And again, proudly being like, this is part of the workflow, this is the process. And it's like, if you're gonna do the thing that most people can accept, you can talk about like something something mundane and a repetitive task that you are automating here, right? Because people used automation and for all kinds of purposes and with coding and so on and so forth. But the idea that, hey, you know what's a boring, mundane, repetitive task? Being creative. Right?
It's very, hey, you know what, bro? I'm getting really tired of writing new prompts. Is there a way to have the prompts write the prompts for the prompts themselves?
I mean, fuck, God, I wish I saved it. I read that post.
Yeah, no, everyone read that.
Yeah. Okay. You're right.
That was a real fucking thing. There's a reason why it keeps coming back up.
These prompts are so exhausting. Can't we just have it do the prompts for us?
What do you want? You just want a button that says make music and then puts your fucking name on it?
Yes.
No. And as I said before, there is a portion of our population that resents the concept of thinking with their own brain. Yep. It is the mental equivalent of somebody who doesn't want to get up off the couch to get themselves a beer.
I just someone posting their like shameful secret that they're like, yeah, I've been addicted to listening to AI generated Juice WRLD tracks compilations in multi-hour long videos, and it's just like that's done. It's over. You're done there. So anyway, so that's happening over on the Let It Die side of things. But then you have I kept, checking back in every time we talked about Marathon and a new statement would come out. They're like, well, what does Anti-Real have to say about this?
What does Anti-Real have to say today, Wooly?
Anti-Real, as of this afternoon, made a post and said
December 2nd, 2025.
The Marathon art issue has been resolved with Bungie and Sony Interactive Entertainment to my satisfaction.
That is a settlement.
Okay.
God, that is a settlement line. That is a legally mandated statement.
There are load-bearing lawyers on each side of that sentence holding it in place. That is the clearest settlement language we've ever seen.
That is what's known as a make good, in that is the requirement from Anti-Real to get all of the money is to say that the problem is solved and then never talk about it again.
You sit in a room, you've got your lawyer, and there's one word, and it's Gibbs, right? And I believe the name of the actual clip on the podcast was Marathon Cut the Check or Die.
Yeah.
I believe that's what I titled the segment. Cut the check or die.
I've been talking to people about this, and it's my opinion, because they're running closed alpha right now, but they won't allow any footage of it. And the reason why I suspect they don't allow any footage of it is because Anti-Real shit is all over that fucking game. And supposedly the person who put Anti-Real shit into that game
has been fired.
Is gone.
Yeah.
And unavailable. And what I believe to be the case, this is a gut feeling, I don't have any inside information. What I believe to be the case is that it is too entrenched to pull out.
Yes.
It has made up too much of the genesis of the way the game looks to pull out without redoing literally the whole fucking
Not
thing.
worth it. It's everywhere when we look at it. It's inescapable. You cannot turn the camera in any direction and not see Anti-Real's work. So, how lucky are they that they only visibly confirmed stole from one person in such an obvious manner as opposed to a plethora?
Mm-hmm.
How fucking lucky that there's one person they can sit down and throw a bag of money at, and this was not a Mid-Journey ass situation where 100,000 people are like, yo, what the fuck? Why is
Mid-Journey says it can't lose that lawsuit legally, because if they lost, they'd go bankrupt.
Of course,
that's part of their legal defense.
Yes. We stole so hard that we can't afford it. Of course, right? But right. So in this instance, they went so hard stealing from one that you can sit one person down and negotiate it. But if this was many, which it easily could have been and will be in the future. Make no mistake. You don't get to salvage the game anymore. You cut your losses and shut it the fuck down, and there goes the company, right? Because this is not a Concord situation. This is Bungie's last legs.
This is
the Bungie cord.
This is such a good follow-up to our discussion about AI, because a lot of AI is just natural plagiarism. This is an example of good old-fashioned human-centered plagiarism.
Human plagiarism.
One person stole another person's work and tried to pass it off as their own.
You made this. I made this.
One person stole another one person's work, and there is a direct line. That person who got shafted has a clear exit for restitution, which they have assuredly received. This reminds me, a couple of years ago, before all this AI stuff, I think, I forget who it was, but it was a texture artist or a photographer or something like that. I think they were Italian, said, hey, I was going through my portfolio and discovered that Capcom fucking stole like thousands of my photos to use as textures in games for like decades, and they posted photos of shit they'd taken for like Resident Evil 4 and like a bunch of stuff, and it was like 1-to-1, and it was the most obvious fucking shit in the world, and we went, wow, they better pay them to make that go away, and we never followed up on that story. That story just fucking went away.
Companies, megacorps, giant studios, etc. Like, if you're stealing, you better steal from one person, right? If you can't be stopped, if you can't be convinced not to steal, at least pick one, because then you can work that shit out. It is, I think, sheer, again, the human plagiarism.
Human plagiarism is better than robot plagiarism,
because they're gonna pick one, and then you can pull this afterwards. You know,
you have a way to actually fight back, and there's a person that you can pay.
But if you had 100,000 artists all pointing to different walls in Marathon, going, "That's mine,"
well, then they're gonna draw and quarter your company in the courtroom, and you're gonna just perish. You can't pay enough people to make it go away.
That is quite
Woolie,
the update.
You ever sit around and think about, like, we're so preachy and anti-AI on this podcast. Man, we're gonna look really stupid in a couple of years when it just completely takes over everything and puts all creatives out of a work, and it's just robots running the future. Don't you think, oh, how stupid we're gonna look if we turn out to be wrong? Oh, we're gonna look so dumb.
Just embrace it now. Who cares? What's the difference? It's coming regardless.
So, hey, Mr. Sweeney, that's a quote
Tim?
from one kind eye in the chat. That's Mr. Tim Sweeney.
Yeah.
Mr. Tim Sweeney went on to the social media, and he said, I don't know why the fuck anybody would have to disclose AI at all. Everything's going to use AI soon. Why would you disclose it? You might as well disclose that they use, I forget what it was, but like a game development engine or whatever. And I saw that, and I was like, wow, that's the exact mentality of somebody who's doing it and not disclosing it right now. That is like, everyone is doing it, says man who is doing it.
In the middle of doing it. Mm-hmm.
And so, hey, guess what? Fortnite,
a bunch of posters, sprays.
Been found out that just it's fucking slopped up to shit.
Of course. And, you know, this is one of those bits where it's like, originally it was, I was gonna say, I've been waiting pretty much most of my adult life for the Kill Bill, the whole bloody affair, which has been confirmed that it's gonna be happening, and apparently a cut chapter has been Quentin Tarantino put a cut chapter and did it in Fortnite, and it's like monkey's paw, I guess. If you because I've been hearing about. I have a poster for the whole bloody affair from Mondo, literally up over there, and along this comes the Yuki's Revenge, which takes place in Fortnite, where you can go and get the chapter that was cut from the full story, and it's kind of like I apparently someone on the subreddit reviewed it, saw it, and said like, yeah, it's not bad, it's fine, and it's like, okay, I guess so, but like, did Palpatine teach us nothing? Like, no. Did we learn nothing from?
All I can think of is like
learn nothing from the Emperor.
Everybody still sometimes says guy in your kitchen late at night wearing a mask. like fuck off, Tim.
Yeah.
God, that Epic Store is just such a loser. It's unbelievable. It's fucking crazy.
Well, just never forget that, like, besides the fact that there was an Apple lawsuit, there was the big, like, get the public on my side campaign, and all the images and videos and the whole fight back with us together.
Tim, you're an unlikable, horrible fuck. No one's ever going to want to be on your side.
Anyway, so
I saw an excellent breakdown of somebody going through the Gears of War 1 credits, I think it was. And they're like, every single person on here that has like a photo next to their name and has like a quote for the development, they're all like thanking their family or like being like, yay, I love my kids or whatever. And like Tim's is like, it's better to change the world than be forced to live it, like some fucking cringe ass incel supervillain shit.
Sure. Yeah. Anyway, again, it's this always needs to come back to the fact that it's slop and hilarious to report on and look at and laugh at needs to be divorced from the actual opposition and the reasons for it. But it's great that it looks like dog shit when I see Call of Duty Street Fighter 6 fucking Ryu's arm is inside of his gun, inside of his chest strap shit, and you're like, what?
Yeah, I don't know, man.
What am I looking at?
Maybe I'm old and broken and whatever, but like I don't even find it funny, and I never did. Because it's like program outputs a shitty result is not really all that funny. Actor does a terrible job. Now that's funny because they're embarrassed and I'm embarrassed for them and all that.
So,
but like, you know, like washing machine fails to do a good job on that one sticky dish. Oh, like,
so that's so to go back to good old fashioned human plagiarism, you know, yeah, I think we need to keep an eye on this because have you heard of Gold Rush Alliance by any chance?
Oh, I thought you were going to talk about Sammy Salazar. What's Gold Rush Alliance?
Gold Rush Alliance is the hot new game coming out of China.
Oh, China.
And if I can get you some footage over
China
here.
will never change.
I mean, like, if you want to count up how many fucks China gives.
It's fucking zero. You did it.
Here we go. Here is some footage for you.
Oh, wow.
Of Gold Rush Alliance. I mean, I don't even... Did Deadlock even launch, like, fully 1.0?
No, it's like a weird beta.
You know, the classic... Like, we talk about how, like, Apex Legend had to hide its launch because Fortnite would steal everything before it even gets a chance. And here comes Deadlock at home. As the Intel Deadlock page says, they copied our whole flow one for one. It's crazy how this game is just it's not even pretending for a second that it's not just Deadlock.
What's crazy though is, like, you know what happens a lot of the times when you see these crazy Chinese knockoffs is you get to actually see that the game they're ripping off actually did choose the right art style.
Oh,
because because this looks way worse.
Right. Like whether it just means whether it actually stands out or looks like fucking nothing. And there are times where, I wonder where I'm like, oh, is this a ripoff because this game is never allowed to come out or it's been, held back for some reason or something. And it's like, no, I don't think that's necessarily the case here. I don't think it's a matter of like, we're making our own Diesel because JoJo will never come to the West.
It's like, I want it.
I think they just went, yeah, yo, that's pretty sick. What a great idea. Let's do it. What a great way to make some money. Good job, guys. Let's all make money. Thank you.
Dude, I thought you were gonna fucking segue into fucking fucking Sammy Salazar about human-centered plagiarism. I think that's the name. That is supposedly the name that Tommy Tallarico is going by to get away from H Bomber Guy.
What the fuck is happening?
So you remember when H Bomber Guy put out this fucking expose where he's like, yeah, so it looks like Tommy Tallarico like plagiarized literally every single thing he ever did in his entire career and is a complete hack fraud. And then Tommy Tallarico just fucking evaporated.
Oh my God.
Apparently he's going by a new name to get away from that, but the new name got found out.
Or was Tommy Tallarico the fake name to begin with?
It might have been.
What a play.
Yeah.
That'd be a pretty sick play.
Talking about human-centered plagiarism.
Right.